The studio lights blazed, the audience clapped, and the air buzzed with anticipation. It was supposed to be just another spirited episode of the View Lively debates. A few laughs, and the occasional uncomfortable question. But no one could have predicted that within minutes, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, would be standing up. Her voice trembling, not with fear, but with a fierce determination. Before being asked to leave the stage, Meghan had been invited to discuss her charity, work her new projects, and perhaps shed light on her post-royal life. She arrived radiant, dressed in a crisp white blouse and navy skirt, exuding the kind of calm grace the cameras love. But behind that composed smile was a woman who had weathered storms the public could never fully imagine. She was prepared for hard questions, but she wasn't prepared for what came next. The first half of the show went smoothly. Meghan spoke about her foundation, the importance of mental health awareness, then the challenges faced by women under constant public scrutiny. But during the second segment, a co-host known for her blunt, unapologetic style leaned forward and, with an edge in her voice, asked, "Do you think you've played the victim too much? Maybe people are just tired of hearing your side of the story?" The room froze. A few audience members gasped. Meghan's face didn't falter, but her fingers tightened around her coffee mug. She took a slow breath, her voice calm but laced with emotion. When you've been silenced for so long, finally speaking isn't playing the victim, it's reclaiming your truth. And truth doesn't expire just because people grow tired of it. The co-host smirked, ready to push further. What followed was a tense exchange, each word heavier than the last. The other panelists tried to steer the conversation elsewhere, but the clash had already caught fire. Meghan's eyes glistened, not from weakness, but from holding back the weight of everything she'd endured. She wasn't just defending herself. She was defending every person who'd been told to be quiet, to endure, to stop making others uncomfortable with their pain. Then came the moment that shifted everything. The same co-host, leaning in again, dismissed Meghan's advocacy as performative. That was the breaking point. Meghan's voice rose not in anger, but in conviction. "You may not like the way I tell my story, but my story is mine. And if using my voice makes someone uncomfortable, that says more about them than me." A sudden, awkward silence fell over the stage. Producers off-camera began gesturing frantically. One of the panelists attempted to change topics, but the tension was unshakable. An audience member shouted in support of Meghan, while another muttered under their breath. The live atmosphere was teetering between outrage and applause. The producers decided to cut the segment short. A floor manager approached Meghan quietly during the break, asking her to step off the stage for the sake of the show's flow. Cameras caught the moment she stood, adjusted her blouse, and gave a polite, bittersweet smile to the audience. "Thank you for listening," she said simply, before walking off. Backstage. Meghan's team surrounded her, but she brushed them off. She needed a moment alone. She stood near the emergency exit, feeling the cool air from outside hit her face. In that instant, she thought of every headline that would twist this into a spectacle, every social media storm that would erupt within minutes. And yet, she felt oddly free. She hadn't stayed silent. She hadn't smiled through something that needed confronting. The next morning, clips of the clash were everywhere. Some criticized her, some applauded her. But one thing was undeniable. People were talking about the very issues she'd been trying to shed light on. And in the flood of opinions, there were also thousands of quiet messages from women, men, and young people around the world saying, "Thank you for speaking up." That day, Meghan posted a single sentence on her social media. "Your voice matters even when it shakes." The clash on The View became more than a headline, became a rallying cry. It reminded viewers that speaking truth in uncomfortable spaces is not a disruption, It's an act of courage. And while Meghan may have been asked to leave the stage that day, she left with her head high, proving that sometimes walking away is not defeat, but the most powerful statement of all. Asterisk in the end. The message resonated beyond the drama. Never let anyone convince you that your truth is too much. If your story makes someone uncomfortable, you're probably telling it right.